Did you look at the email I sent you?
Vaguely. I don't really have much for it. I was at the gym, and then I had something, and then I ate lunch with Megan, and then it was one. So
Terrible. This is your only job right now, Kyle.
I know. Howdy, it's Tuesday, April 16th, 2024, and this is episode 226 of Due for a Win, the Atlantic City podcast. I'm Kyle Askin, joined as always by Craig Stone. What's good, Craig?
Daytime recording again. Back to it.
Yeah, didn't even give you a chance to catch your breath. Just jumped right in.
Jumped right in. I didn't get to think about a what's good.
Nope. So it's good. Go on. Something's got to be good. We're going to Atlantic City in 2 weeks. That's good.
That is good. A little over 2 weeks, like 2 weeks and 3 days.
2.5 weeks, yeah.
I have to figure out all sorts of stuff.
What do you have to figure out?
I don't really have to figure out anything. I'm driving. The hardest thing used to be the bus versus train versus what time.
So do you have 2 cars now?
Yeah, we have 2 cars.
All right.
So I'll be driving, which is nice because it means I can just get up and go.
After your whatever work thing you need to do?
Yes, correct.
So it's not exactly get up from your seat and go.
Yes, that's what I meant. I was actually thinking about returning home, that I could just go whenever I'm done. That I feel like is a huge benefit.
Do we know when you guys are leaving Sunday yet? Are you going to get up and go?
We can talk about that later in the podcast. We have other
All
things to talk about before we get to trip planning. Geez, there's 2 whole episodes before the trip.
Like what?
Always, once, never.
Mm-hmm.
I've had this one in my pocket for a while, and I don't know how good it is, but we're doing it anyway. Celebrity chefs. And the way I'm thinking about this, since they all have multiple restaurants, is for the always, you can go to any of them, and it counts as the always. For the once you go to one of them, you can't go to any of the others.
Mm-hmm.
And in the ocean, all their restaurants go into the ocean. So you got to think of it in those terms. And the chefs are Gordon Ramsay, Guy Fieri, and Jose Garces. The restaurant lineup, Hell's Kitchen and Gordon Ramsay Pub and Grill, both at Caesars, and Gordon Ramsay Steak at Harrah's. Guy has Guy Fieri's Chop House at Bally's, Guy's Barbecue Joint at Caesars, well, in the Wild Wild West, and Chicken Guy currently at Harrah's and coming soon to resorts. Jose Garces has Amada at Ocean and Distrito at Ocean. Formerly had Ocache and Olan at Tropicana, but no more. What do you got? Always, once, never.
It would be hard for me to imagine the answer for never being anything but Gordon Ramsay, because I don't really want to go to any of these restaurants. I could do once more, because I've actually never been to Hell's Kitchen, but I don't love Gordon Ramsay Pub, which I think other people do. I think you and your brother both like it. And Gordon Ramsay Steak, I've been to the one in Baltimore, and I thought it was very, very expensive for what it was.
I think it's very mid, the Gordon Ramsay. I did not love what I got, and I really did not like the experience of sitting out across from the Emperor's Essentials. I thought that was just
Yes.
Not
we were
a fun
directly
place to
across from the Emperor's Essentials.
I might like it a lot better if I went and sat at the bar.
It is weird that they're like, here's a hallway, let's put some tables there. That's exactly what the people want.
It's like alfresco dining, except literally
in
on
a hallway.
The casino floor. Yeah, and not even on the casino floor, in the hallway to the casino floor.
I mean, it would be nice if that was outside or whatever, but no, it's actually in a hallway.
Yep.
It's not great.
The issue with the Gordon Ramsay stuff is it's all, there's no cheap option in there.
No.
Whereas both the other two, you've got Guy's Barbecue Joint, you got Chicken Guy, you got Distrito, you can grab a couple tacos.
Mm-hmm.
Both the Jose Garces things are at Ocean, which you've made your feelings on Ocean in these Always Once Nevers very clear.
I don't want to go there. Okay, so let's move on. So Guy Fieri. I've been to the Guy's Chop House. There used to be one in Baltimore. I've not been to the one at Bally's.
I have been to the one at Bally's.
Barbecue Joint, I think I have been to it was Bally's, I guess, when I went to it. No, Caesars. I think that was fine. I haven't been to Chicken Guy. I don't know. Do I want to eat Guy Fieri every trip? Not really.
It's a tough one.
It's better than Gordon Ramsay, right? I would never choose Gordon Ramsay for the always. Never, never, never.
Can you... I think you have to eat something. I was going to say, can you go sit at the bar at Gordon Ramsay Pub and Grill?
Nah, you got to eat something.
And drink a beer. I think you got to at least get an appetizer.
That's true. You could get an app. It would probably be fine. It would be totally fine to get an app and have that drink at the bar.
It just seems like such a mid use of time, though. Like, it seems like to choose that is to choose something just because you can do it. And, like, you're not even going to be happy about going. You're just like, I have to do this because it's my always.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, grabbing a barbecue sandwich or a chicken sandwich or a taco, like, all those things are like, yeah, man, I could go for a taco right now. I could go for a chicken sandwich as, like, a quick snack.
That would probably be fine. So the third option, we've got Jose Garces, which is only Amada and Distrito, it looks like right now.
Yes.
Distrito is good. It's one step better than fine. It's not, like, incredible or anything.
I agree.
Amada, I've only gotten drinks at, I think. I've never actually eaten there, as far as I can remember.
Okay. I'm a huge Amada fan. I think it is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I certainly thought that Okache and Olan were both absolutely fantastic, but they don't do anything for me now, since they don't exist anymore. So, I mean, I don't want to go to Ocean every trip.
I know. It's tough.
Do I have to say Guy? I mean, I don't want to go to Guy every trip either.
You don't want real deal barbecue right here on the boardwalk?
I would probably make Guy my always, not because I want to eat it every trip, but because I don't want to go to Ocean or deal with sitting in a hallway and Gordon Ramsay Pub and Grill every trip.
It's tough.
Yeah, I would say always Guy. Once more, certainly Jose Garces, and Gordon Ramsay can go in the Ocean.
Okay, so my issue with Gordon Ramsay into the Ocean is you're wiping out a lot of restaurants from Atlantic City that are pretty, I'm assuming, are doing pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not great.
Are they going in the Ocean for everyone, or just for me?
Oh, no, they're gone.
Oh.
They gotta go.
That's fine.
So that makes it a little harder. Like, I think you lose less putting either of the other two into the Ocean in terms of Atlantic City.
Sure. But
that being said, like, I would sort of like to force Caesars to get away from Gordon Ramsay as every restaurant has to be a Gordon Ramsay restaurant. So... from a personal standpoint, I think I've still got to put Gordon Ramsay into the Ocean. I mean, I would totally go to Gordon Ramsay Steak. I've heard it's very, very good. I would give Hell's Kitchen a try. I would give Gordon Ramsay Pub and Grill another try.
I would definitely give Hell's Kitchen a try.
So maybe I should actually say Gordon Ramsay for my ones. I liked Guy's Chop House when I went. I actually thought the food was surprisingly good. I don't know why I was thinking it wasn't going to be good. But barbecue joint, Chicken Guy... I like the idea of Chicken Guy, but like, why would that be a once? I feel like Guy has to either be always or into the Ocean. The one I want to go to the most is just like, I can either go to Amada or Distrito every single time. I can either go get a dinner at Amada or go grab a taco and a margarita at Distrito during happy hour. Like, that sounds great, but then I have to get up to Ocean every trip. I think I'm still going to do that. I think I'm going to go with the Garces.
Ooh, Jose Garces. Always. Only 2 restaurants.
Make the trek up there.
You're going to be hating your life when got the 4 Guy Fieri restaurants or whatever.
That's true.
Just going to be grabbing, whatever you can grab at Chicken Guy, and you're going to be like, I got to go to Ocean.
I know, but I'd actually be excited about getting the food at either Amada or Distrito. I don't think there's anything on this Guy list that I'm like, sweet, I'm going to go, every time I got to go get Chicken Guy, like this chain chicken restaurant, chicken sandwich.
Yeah, I don't think I interacted with food the same way you do, necessarily.
I don't even think I'm like most people, but you are just like, I really don't like planning trips around restaurants. Like, that's just not the focus of when I go on a vacation. Whereas I know a lot of people, like, the first thing that they put on the agenda is where they're eating meals, and then everything else just revolves around that. Like, I really try to avoid that.
When I cook stuff, which is pretty rare, honestly, like, I'll make it in bulk, and then I'll, like, just eat whatever I cooked for lunch and dinner the next, like, 5 days. And I think my wife literally thinks I'm a serial killer because I can do that. She absolutely can never have a meal twice in a row or whatever.
It would be very hard for me to have a meal for lunch and dinner the same day.
No,
I don't really like that, but unless it's pizza, and then you're having more leftover pizza for dinner, that's fine.
Oh, pizza's a special exception.
Pizza in the morning, pizza in the evening, pizza at supper time.
When pizza's on a bagel?
You can eat pizza anytime. So, I said always Jose Garces. I think I've got to go once Gordon Ramsay. I came into this 100% thinking Gordon Ramsay into the Ocean, but I would try any of these 3. Fine, I'm going once more Gordon Ramsay, and I'm throwing Guy into the Ocean, which I feel bad about, because, you know,
you actually like the Guy stuff, though, right?
I've only been to the Chop House, and I thought it was pretty good. You know what? No, I'm flipping it. You know why? Because I really want to try trash can nachos, which I've never had, and those are at Guy's restaurants, so I'm flipping it. Sorry. Gordon Ramsay has to go into the Ocean. Trash can nachos once more. Jose Garces always. Last minute change of heart.
Yep. Well, we'll have one nice meal together at Amada.
Yeah.
And then we can have one bucket of trash can nachos at Guy, and then I'll just spend the rest of my life at the Guy restaurants, and you can be at Distrito or whatever.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. We're going to Atlantic City.
We are May 3rd to 5th. So the first question is, what time do you think you will get there on Friday, May 3rd?
I don't even know if I'm going Friday, May 3rd, or if I'm going to go Thursday, May 2nd. So we'll have to see what people say.
If no one else is going,
if it's only us three, I'll probably leave and get there afternoon, like you are.
Okay.
I would see no reason to get there at 10 a.m. Or I couldn't even get there at 10 a.m. if I wanted to. But like noon, let's say I could get there. But I'll probably try to get there at 2 or 3 so I can get there when you are there.
Yeah, I am running a workshop at work until 11:30, which I could try to beg my way out of, but it would not be a good look.
Mm-hmm. I know you said in an email you'll be there at 3.
So the earliest I could get there is like 2, but yeah, 3 is probably more realistic by the time I'm like out the door.
I would probably leave my house at like 10, which means I'd get there at 2. That would be my guess.
Sounds like a plan.
I mean, realistically, I'm not leaving before then anyway, because then I'm just going to sit in traffic in Baltimore or whatever. So
my brother, who is also going, seems like he's going to get there later in the afternoon, if
dinner,
not early evening.
Yeah, it sounds like he's aiming for 6 or something.
Are we pretty set on our hotel plans? We have rooms booked. We need one more room for Saturday.
You tell me. I don't mind if we want to do Caesars both nights. That's fine.
You were the one pushing for Borg on Friday and then switching hotels.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm fine with that. Like, certainly I'm fine with staying at Borg on Friday and moving to Caesars Saturday.
So right now we're both booked in MGM Tower. We have 2 rooms, two queen rooms in the MGM Tower. As I discovered right before the episode, the price of my 2 queen room has dropped by $26. So I need to decide if it's worth that.
What, hitting the button to cancel and then, why wouldn't you? Isn't it like 5 minutes?
Because I'm going to cancel and then it's going to be like $386. Ah.
Well, that's just funny.
Just like my $75 match play, free play, whatever it was.
That would be incredible if they've got it like programmed into the system to do that.
Okay. Oh, you just canceled? Yeah, you can't rebook. So we have that booked, and then the idea is to switch to Caesar. So right now, you and I together as companions have a comped room in the Centurion Tower at Caesars for Saturday night. And then we're probably going to have to just pay through my brother's rates, which are slightly discounted for that other room on Saturday. Mm-hmm. But we'll see what happens with that. We should probably book something just to have it on the books.
Yeah.
But that's the plan. Borg one night, Caesars the next.
Should be good.
I'm generally somewhat averse to the mid-trip switch.
I love it.
Especially only a 2-night trip. But I have to say, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, what you're getting out of staying at Borgata on Friday is
you're staying at Borgata. You know, the nicest room in Atlantic City.
I mean, forget about the room.
The nicest casino in Atlantic City.
What you're getting is the gambling experience and the Borgata experience. Like, sure, there's a lot of stuff we could do on the boardwalk.
That's why we're going to the boardwalk on Saturday.
You're basically getting, like gambling at Borgata in the evening, B-bar potentially, wake up at Borgata.
Do some more gambling.
Probably play some 6s or better.
Of course.
And then head over to the boardwalk to do boardwalk stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't discuss departure ETAs. So from the boardwalk, what time do you need to get out on Sunday?
I don't think there's any specific time. I don't think I've got anything going on Sunday.
I do not think I'll stay very long into the day.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine too.
Lunch at the latest.
Sounds good. I mean, it's also much, much closer for you than for
true.
me. It takes you half the time it takes me.
So we also have reservations. The only other thing set is docks.
7 o'clock on Friday.
7 o'clock on Friday. So if you really want a celebrity sighting, if you want to come see us,
we'll be at the docks.
Hang out outside the docks with your cameras and wait for us to walk by.
And get mugged.
The docks employees certainly think that you get mugged.
Yeah, certainly. They'd be like, what are you doing, man? Get out of here.
Yeah. Other things that I have on the lists, we talked about last episode, Cardinal Happy Hour.
I think we could do that Saturday. It's 7 days a week, right?
I think they're closed Monday, Tuesday. So,
okay, sure. 5 days a week, but it's the 5 days they're open.
Yeah. Anytime they are open.
I think we need to do that Saturday at Happy Hour.
I think that's a great plan. And then I know that Paul wants to do Horse Dive Bar or Super Frico for drinks or that other, I don't know if the Cheval de Plongée will be open, the window. I mean, I would like to get a beer at the beer garden if the weather's nice. I feel like that's a must. Always, not once or never.
Yes, always.
The other question I have, and we don't have to decide this now, is the hook, which Paul and I have already done, but you have not.
I think we should wait for more people to come and then see it. Because I'm not going to want to see it twice, honestly. So
it would be more fun with a big group, I think.
Then again, who knows if that'll ever happen. But that's neither here nor there.
I also think it's something that, our friends who go to AC way less often and think of it as like I don't want to say the word shithole. Our friends who are maybe have been to Vegas more recently than AC.
Right.
It's something to show them to be like, hey, check this out. This is very Vegas-y.
Her friends who think that, Vegas is just much, much better than AC, when it's obviously not.
Yeah, clearly.
I mean, since they're very willing to go to Vegas whenever and not willing at all to go to AC.
I feel like there was pushback about Vegas last time, but that's a whole discussion that I've had with, I think, everyone from that group.
Probably not me, but I don't know.
No, I think we've talked about it.
Yeah.
Update from last episode. We got an email from Randy, who is Occams_wager on Twitter, about Buddy's Boardwalk Empire. He says, I was actually at Harrah's while you were recording the last episode, so I have info regarding the new immersive bakery pizzeria infusion experience, or whatever space. I appreciate the use of or whatever there, by the way. Taza is still there and was closed for renovations last weekend, due to reopen in May, if I recall correctly. Wife was not happy about this, since 2 a.m. gelato was one of the few reasons I can drag her along to AC with me. Bar with No Name is still there, and still the only bar in Harrah's that I have not had a drink at. This new place is opening in the space directly on your left when you walk in the main valet entrance. There used to be one of those shops that sold $2,000 blown glass Chihuahuas and such. I think that place moved further into the waterfront tower area, and so the space has been empty for a while.
That is an excellent description of the shops, by the way. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So as you walk in the main entrance and look to your left, it's the new Buddy's Boardwalk Empire, then the hall down to the waterfront, Bayview, etc., then the bar with no name. So that's the description of where it will be, not replacing the bar with no name as I thought. So thank you, Randy, for that update.
Thank you very much.
He also pointed out, we talked about cigar smoking and whether or not that was allowed. He said, I noticed my last trip in late February that the bars and tables all had signs that say, no cigar smoking some number of feet from this sign. The bartender told me this was implemented by the city and or state, so it's not casino specific. I don't know if this applies at Toga Bar at Caesars, since they are traditionally a cigar bar. I was there in early January surrounded by a gaggle of New Yorkers smoking cigars, so it certainly wasn't then. I'll be back at Caesars beginning of May, so I suppose I'll find out then. Doesn't Toga Bar have that little cigar thingy like right in front of it, or next to it, sort of?
I don't know.
That's how I remember it. So I guess they sort of build themselves as a cigar bar.
Yeah, I actually have no idea. I didn't know it was a cigar bar.
Makes me not want to play video poker there. Certainly not the absolutely horrible video poker rules. That's not the deterrent. I mean, it's never stopped me before.
Right. I mean, nothing's as good as whatever, the 9-6 or 10-7 video poker that was upstairs at Caesars, right? That was paid $1 for a 2-pair.
Yeah, that was at the Hell's Kitchen. That bar was closed last time I was there for some reason.
Incredible. Any
other thoughts on these things?
No, thank you very much, Randy, for sending in the info.
We have one bit of news that I guess we'll talk about, which is that AC Mayor Marty Small and his wife LaQuetta Small, who is actually the superintendent of public schools in Atlantic City, have been charged with abusing and assaulting their teenage daughter. The charges are quite graphic, including Mayor Small allegedly knocking his daughter unconscious with a broom. So far, the latest is that he refuses to step down. I just saw a headline about that less than an hour ago. I know that a couple weeks ago, their home was searched. The mayor held a press conference in which he called it a, quote, private family matter, and said, if I wasn't Mayor Marty Small or she wasn't the superintendent, you wouldn't hear of this. Which is probably true, but also does not mean that we shouldn't hear about it, because you are a public figure. So I don't have anything else to add other than that, I think if these things come out to be true or he gets convicted of these things, both of them will have to step down.
Yeah, one would think so. I mean, I don't really have much to say other than if true, that's bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's another black eye on
Atlantic City.
Atlantic City and that position, the mayor position in general, which has certainly had its history of that.
Well, I mean, it's had its history mostly of corruption, which this is not, but
yeah, that's
it's
true.
still a bad thing.
We'll see where that goes. I don't expect to talk about it too much more on the show other than very brief factual updates. In more lighthearted news, the AC Beer and Music Festival was last weekend. That is done. But they were tweeting about a summer session at Bader Field. So we talked about, it moved back indoors. It moved back to the convention center. They are also going to have one Saturday, July 13th at Bader Field. 2 sessions, noon to 4 and 6 to 10 p.m. Tickets are $65. They have not announced any sort of band lineup yet. But man, this is a big event to have it twice in a year. Clearly, It's very successful, very popular, so that's cool. Again, it's a Saturday in July, which
seems hot.
Seems hot.
I don't know if I want to stand outside and drink beer for 4 hours from noon to 4 on a Saturday in July.
Yeah, I feel like the July should be inside. I don't know. I guess people like the heat.
6 to 10 would be nice.
That's true. That's a good
noon
point.
to 4 sounds just like hell on earth.
How much shade do you think is at the Bader Field?
I wouldn't think a whole lot.
Yeah, I'm guessing not a whole lot.
I mean, I guess they have tents and stuff, but I don't know.
So, yeah, we'll keep you in the loop about band lineups. Seems like they've been getting progressively like bigger name bands. So, especially with no beach concerts, it'd be nice if they could get something interesting. I want to go to a beer fest.
Yeah, it was fun when we went 12 years ago.
I went to a brewery in Austin when I was in Austin, and they had like a soccer field, fenced-in soccer field, where you could just unleash the kids. They had a whole playground set up. And let me tell you, what a great way to spend Easter Sunday.
Yeah, it's fun.
Sitting around, drinking craft beer, letting your kids run around.
Have you been to the Guinness in Baltimore?
I have not.
It's also a pretty decent place to unleash your kids, I think.
Oh, nice. Yeah, New Jersey does not have any of that. So bringing it back to New Jersey, the rules have been so strict on New Jersey breweries for so long, and they're finally like released a little bit. So they had limits on, they couldn't have any food, including food trucks at the breweries, at the tap rooms. They were limited to the number of events that they could host that were not like directly brewing related events. They were limited on the number of these beer fests and festivals they could go to. And so I think it really hampered the brewery industry in New Jersey as a whole. And we've certainly fallen behind, at the very least, like Pennsylvania and Massachusetts, which have a much bigger brewery culture, I think. Like, I just want to go unleash my kids while I drink beer before I drive them home. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah. I mean, in New Jersey, apparently it is. No, I feel like breweries always have, like, play areas and, like, board games and stuff for kids. That's just not the case in New Jersey?
There are ones with, like, picnic tables and stuff, but I don't know of any that have, like, a full-on area where they're just like, yeah, unleash the kids. I mean, there's also been a lot of backlash, I think understandably, from beer snobs who are like, I want to go have a beer sampling experience without a bunch of kids around.
Those people sound like assholes.
I mean, if you're a beer snob. Every brewery I've looked at in New Jersey has a note that's like, yes, we're very kid-friendly, but please before 6 p.m. and also, like, keep an eye on them. This isn't a playground. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, but I want it to be a playground. My brewery chances all revolve around having something to occupy the kids. That's what they should open in Bader Field. It's just the McDonald's play place of breweries.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go pitch that as an option instead of the F1 style racetrack. Showboat has that summer stage. Let's go. Brewery. The Seed's already there. They should be setting up a McDonald's play place.
Yeah, man.
The Seed definitely seems like a more beer snobby snob type place. Not an unleash your kids type place, I have to say.
Yes, no. That seems like that would be inappropriate at the Seed, I feel like.
It is called The Seed, a living beer project. So
it's like only for like emo kids from the 2000s or whatever.
Set your expectations accordingly based on the name. We got mailbag questions.
All right.
Which I know that you have thought deeply about.
Indeed.
Deeply. I'm actually going to not go in order here. Third one first. You've probably talked about this before, but what exactly is the CRDA, and what do they do? I get that they receive 1.25% of casino gross revenues for investment, but what do they actually do with the money? Your guess is as good as ours, Lou D.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they do a bunch of random stuff. I think if you want to find out more about the CRDA, there's 2 articles I can recommend. One was written by Bill Sprouse, friend of the pod, non-ironically.
For Route 40.
Yeah, for Route 40. He has just a great article about the CRDA. And then the other one was probably 2 or 3 years ago. ProPublica put out a big report about the CRDA money and what they do. That was also very good. Neither are very positive towards the CRDA, I'd say. Doesn't make anything look great. But they do all kinds of stuff with the money. I think a lot of what they do is like buy property they deem to be derelict and, tear it down, or in the ProPublica report, like, give it to people for redevelopment, maybe in sweetheart deals, maybe not, who knows. Yeah, I mean, beyond that, I know they do give some money to casinos every once in a while, like presumably if you've heard for the last run of the podcast, the last 9 years, there's been rumors of a grocery store opening up. I think that would be with like CRDA funding behind it.
I think that's a big priority for them.
stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, they manage the DoAC website.
Yeah, DoAC is the big kind of forward-facing thing, like consumer-facing thing that they run.
Yeah, I mean, tourism, conventions, they like promoting conventions. They run the Visit Atlantic City website, which promotes conferences and conventions. They've subsidized the beach concerts in the past in partnership with Live Nation.
They're officially the one that runs the convention center and Boardwalk Hall, I believe.
So the CRDA stands for Casino Reinvestment Development Authority. Mm-hmm. And if you want the very official mission statement, which, you know, you can tell it's a good mission statement if you have no idea what it's talking about. In all caps, the only agency of its kind in the nation, will let you decide if that's a good thing or not. The Casino Reinvestment Development Authority facilitates economic and community development in Atlantic City by leveraging its available assets and revenues, oh my god, with private investment capital to support redevelopment projects throughout the city. Supporting these efforts, the CRDA also oversees land use planning and clean and safe initiatives in the Atlantic City Tourism District. Concurrently, the CRDA continues its mission to attract visitors to Atlantic City by presenting world-class entertainment events and conventions at historic Boardwalk Hall, the Atlantic City Convention Center, and other local venues. That is the mission statement. I think they should rewrite that because it's not great. Come on now. Clarity.
Didn't seem great.
Don't throw this word salad at me. It was founded in 1984, formed in 1984. Actually, the funds originally went throughout the state.
Yeah, it went to the whole state, and then I think it changed in, 2010 or something like that.
Yeah, the 2011 Tourism District Act focused the mission on Atlantic City projects. I think even before that, it had already sort of moved in that direction. I think mainly because the casinos in the city were doing so poorly in the the recession around 2008. There's 17 members on the board. The mayor of Atlantic City, previously mentioned in this podcast, the state treasurer, the Attorney General, the Commissioner of the Department of Community Affairs, 13 people appointed by the governor, 6 of them members of the public, in quotes, 2 people recommended by the state Senate president, 2 people recommended by the Speaker of the State General Assembly, 2 casino representatives, and 1 member of the Casino Control Commission. So that is the very official statement about what the CRDA is. We mentioned some of their actual projects, like the beach concerts, the tourism and conventions. Other eligible projects are housing development, public recreation facilities, basically any sort of business facilities, stuff for local residents like daycares, grocery stores, supermarkets, senior citizen facilities, etc. So, yeah, I mean, that's what they're supposed to be doing. I think the articles that you talk about, a couple of the things that they run into are the land use regulations that they have implemented can be contradictory or blocking development that you would otherwise like to have happen. So, and also that I think there's an issue of sort of like land hoarding of they have all this.
Yes, they do own a lot of land.
Those are the issues that it has. But yeah, I think if you're interested in more of like a critique of them rather than just the official party line that I've just given you, those 2 articles would be good. And if I remember, I'll link to them in the show notes. So that's the CRDA. Another question from Ludi. It seems that if you asked most people to state the ways that AC is better than Vegas, which we've already stated in this episode that it is.
It's true.
The answers would be centered on better gambling and some combination of the boardwalk, beach, and ocean. Without referencing those things, what are 3 additional reasons why AC is better than Vegas?
3? I mean, it's much cheaper, for one thing. Way cheaper. And that means both in terms of if you're going to a restaurant and buying food and in terms of like what you can expect to lose at the tables.
Yeah, I mean, I think AC has gotten more expensive. I mean, it definitely has gotten more expensive post-pandemic, but I was just floored with the price of everything when we went to Vegas.
It was shocking.
And AC does still, like, they're more generous with the comped rooms, I think, than anything in Vegas, at least on the Strip. So starting with cost, I think is one. This is a lame one, but if you're anywhere east of the Mississippi, it's certainly an easier time to get there. Surely for
is
the
that true?
Millions and millions and millions of people who are in this mid-Atlantic region on 95.
Yeah.
Basically between Boston and Virginia.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily the case, but certainly for us, it's easier to get to.
Right. I mean, the last time I went to Vegas, it was like 10 hours door to door by the time you leave for the airport. Right. So it's one thing to say like, oh, it's a 5.5 hour flight, but like the 5.5 hour flight is like the barely scratching the surface of the amount of time that it takes between leaving your house and actually being checked in your hotel. I live in New Jersey, so I'm spoiled. It's 2 hours. Hop in my car. I'm there in 2 hours. But that was another thing going to Vegas, like when I put the time together of like when I walked out of my door to when I was walking into the Vidara on the Strip. I was like, wow, that took an extremely long time for also $600 something round trip.
Oh. Hey man, you got to get those like, $80 round trip tickets.
Spirit, Allegiant Airlines.
No. It's Spirit and Frontier. None of that Allegiant. Allegiant's a bad airline. People shouldn't fly it.
I might be flying it in June because they fly direct from Newark to Appleton, Wisconsin, which literally no one else does.
I hope nothing happens to your flight and it doesn't get canceled or whatever, because, I mean, it's probably really fine. But
20% of the price.
I mean, I think if it's cheap enough, it's worth it. Just take a flyer on, but I don't know if you should assume that you're going to get there in any reasonable amount of time or whatever.
Interesting. All right, we can talk more about that off air. So I've said cost and time as 2 reasons. I have my sort of main reason. Not that I think it's better, but it's just different in a way that I appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
And that is just that it's more chill. I love Vegas. I love the chaos. I love everything there is to do there. But AC is just a different experience. It is a beach town. It's relaxed. It's less crowded. It is just less chaotic, less overwhelming.
It definitely can be, depending on the time of year you go. In summer, it's pretty busy still.
But I don't think it's like chaotic busy. It's beach busy.
It's not overwhelming like Vegas is, though, in that for us, there's like only like 5 places we're thinking about going to or whatever. It's not like Vegas where it's like a million. Because it's so much smaller, I think it's just like a lot more approachable.
Yeah, I think so. But just in general, like I think the vibe is very different in AC.
Mm-hmm.
People will probably say that this is actually a negative, but like the type of people who go to AC are just different, right? Like they're there to hang out and they're there to gamble. I mean, you do get like a club scene, but it's not nearly anything like the Vegas scene.
And it's not even like it was like 10 years ago, I don't think.
Yeah.
That's my impression anyway. The importance of clubs have gone down quite a lot in AC, to me.
Yeah.
It seems like anyway.
Pretty much everywhere except for Tropicana, it feels like.
Yeah.
And Ocean. So yeah, I think that's a big thing. I mean, I sort of appreciate that as I get older, especially. Like, I still like love the chaos of Vegas, but I definitely felt the negative side of it more last time we went to Vegas. Whereas before I was just like, I'm willing to deal with any amount of crowdedness and any amount of walking between casinos and like all the ridiculousness because it's Vegas and that's part of the experience. And last time I just got like more exhausted by it. I mean, I still had a great time, but yeah, Vegas, I mean, AC is just like chill.
It is a lot more chill compared to Vegas. And it's just, Vegas is so expensive. Like the Strip is so expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are a lot of ways we could have made Vegas way cheaper, but I don't think there's any way that we could make it
not easily
as cheap as we do AC.
Yeah. Like, sure, if we stayed downtown the whole time, I'm sure there'd be, like, cheap places to eat and stuff. But, like, I don't think they exist on the Strip. I, like, just don't think they exist.
Casino Royale.
Yeah.
The newly renovated Slots of Fun.
I mean, I did got my comped $10 breakfast sandwich at Dunkin' and, $6 iced tea or whatever.
That's true.
My Dunkin' points. That's how you make it cheap.
Dunkin' every meal. I mean, you certainly had many trips in Vegas where you went to Chipotle multiple times.
Even that, like back then, I mean, it sounds normal now, but I was spending like $13 or $15 back then to get my burrito and guacamole and chips. But that's just the going price of Chipotle these days, so I'm sure it'd be like $24 in Las Vegas right now.
Probably. Yeah, I was really floored by how much that whole trip cost. I mean, we did expensive stuff. Like, you didn't do the racing or the second show.
Yeah, I didn't do any of that. Yeah, I didn't do the shows. But even I remember the first meal we went to when we got there, like the people who got there early, we just went to Chicken Shack, something with chicken to get a sandwich. And I got like a soft drink cup. It was $24 or something for a chicken sandwich. And this is like a takeaway place. I might have gotten fries too, but...
Going into the trip, I was worried about the expense of the meals, and then we went to like Tim Ho Wan, which I was floored by how cheap it was.
That was cheap, yeah. That was good.
Even the place at Wynn wasn't as expensive as I thought it was going to be. I mean, it certainly was not cheap, but
cheaper than I thought too. What was it? It was like, was it under $100 a person?
I think it was.
I think it was too, which was surprising.
Pretty good amount of stuff. I don't remember what restaurant that was that we went to.
But it's like the fast casual stuff that's seems expensive compared to everywhere else in the country to me.
Yeah.
Tim Ho Wan was great, by the way. That was the
MVP
of Vegas, I think. Go to the Palms and go there.
The Palms was a fun little casino.
Yeah.
What was the restaurant that we went to at Wynn? That's what I want to know.
I don't remember.
It was called La Cave.
Sure. La Cave.
Yes, just like Le Jardin. Which is the casino that Wynn wanted to build in Atlantic City, and now a restaurant at the Wynn.
Indeed.
So that's question number 2. I think we offered 3 things. We'll check that one off. Marked as complete. Last one, Ludi always comes through with a strange one.
Mm-hmm.
In the 1980s, the members of the band Genesis had side projects while still being in the band. If you were each to have a solo podcast, what would the topic be? Kyle, assume somebody handles all the recording and editing for you.
For you, surely it would be something like leads or capitals or something related, right?
I wasn't going to go that direction, but yeah.
Oh, really?
I'm interested to see what you have to say.
I don't know.
Vegas?
No, probably not.
Why Vegas is better than AC? Counter podcast to do for a win.
I guess, like, more generally, like, what are my interests? I like traveling in general. That's something I like a lot. In a way, I think my perception is that you don't necessarily. I mean, I guess that's, like, my big other interest.
I think I have to make the caveat on this whole thing, which is that one really nice thing about this podcast is that I feel like we're sort of in a content area that is not oversaturated.
Right. Not like Vegas.
Not like Vegas, not like travel, and not like what I'm going to say. Which is the thing that I probably obsess about the most. The thing that I definitely obsess about the most in my life is fitness and eating right and working out.
Oh, really?
In a way that I feel like I have a lot of thoughts about that, and the thoughts about the way that the content is presented in a way that's very bad for lots of people that I think would make an interesting podcast, but I don't think I could ever make a dent in that market. So I think that is what I would do, but it's such a saturated market. Like, I don't see how you break through without some sort of crazy angle. But I do have to say, like, the amount of absolute trash that you have to sift through to get to, like, things that are, A, giving you good advice, and B, like, not just telling you how terrible you're doing and making you feel like shit about yourself. That combination is very hard to find. And there's not enough of it out there. But also, nobody would take me seriously as a fitness person because, like, I'm just a twig, even though I've been working out really hard for 5 years. Like, I just, you know, I'm not genetically whatever. I also don't eat enough. I would need to do a true bulk and get bigger.
I mean, just for the listeners, my other big hobby the last, like, 2 or so years, maybe even a little more than that, 2 to 3 years, is learning languages, but I don't have any thoughts on that, so I wouldn't make a podcast about it.
Yeah, I've been doing Japanese on Duolingo for over 2 years. I know basically no Japanese, so...
Yeah, that's normal.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly my first language I did all of the Arabic tree on Duolingo, and it's just, like, so short that you legitimately know nothing when you're done, so...
There are some words that I'm like, I know the Japanese word for that, and it pops into my mind, but, like, the sentence structure and stuff, it's just insane. Like, I can get it in the app in Duolingo, so I feel like I've gotten good at doing Duolingo, but not good at doing Japanese, so...
You have to diversify, I think, if you actually want to learn the language a bit more.
You do need to supplement. And that's why my dad has hired someone just to talk to him in Spanish, like, once a week.
Yeah, I do that, too.
Smart. Do you really? Wow, so dedicated. You should do a podcast.
I should.
While I do my fitness podcast that no one will listen to.
Yeah, it would be great.
Yep. So all we got.
I'm not a very interesting person, so I consider myself more of a generalist than having, like, a ton of super specific interests that I, like, go very deep on. Like, I'm a broad-based knowledge person. I usually know, like, a little bit about everything, but not a lot about anything.
My issue is that I get, like, very obsessed about something for a short amount of time.
Yeah, no.
And then I move on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Leeds thing, certainly, you know, I obsess about Leeds United, but I don't think... It's a scary space to be in because, like, nobody wants to hear an American talk about, like, UK soccer. Like, I wouldn't be able to take all the hate.
But come on, it's Leeds. It's every American's favorite team, so you certainly wouldn't be hated even more for that.
No, all the Americans have
they've
shit
all
on
left
Leeds
now.
They're because all the Americans left the team and they fired the American manager, and all the Leeds fans were like, "Yeah, get the hell out of here, you dumb Yanks." And so there's a lot of animosity now, which I knew would happen. I knew that would happen, and I'm dealing with it. But
incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I had a Capitals podcast back in the day.
I didn't know that. I know you had a blog, but I didn't know you had a podcast.
No, I did.
You never told me. I'm positive that you told me at some point.
This was literally not 20 years ago, probably like 17 years ago.
It's an early podcast.
Actual first foray into podcasting.
Yeah. 2011? Like 2008? 2007?
Yeah, probably like 6, 7.
Ooh. Podcasting started in like 4 or 5, right? 5, I think, was like most people consider like the first.
So the team itself had a podcast, and we were the first unofficial podcast index on iTunes. I think we probably got about 4 listeners an episode, and one of them was my brother, so. Nobody listened to podcasts back then, because there were only 6 podcasts.
I certainly didn't listen to podcasts back then, which was weird, because like I used to buy audiobooks on CD, but like, I don't know, never listened to podcasts. It wasn't as convenient back then, because like, you know, your phone couldn't link to your car as easily, and blah, 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 blah,
yeah.
blah. But
yeah. buying audiobooks on CD.
Like, I had to buy CDs to, like, put CD into the CD player, and, yeah.
Fascinating. Anyways, this is way off topic. Good job, everyone.
Enjoy editing.
This is going to be terrible. What have I done to myself?
If you want to reach out to us or any of our other listeners, and when I say us, I mean not me, you can do so at our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/DoForAWin. Find all of our great content at DoForWin.com. Reach out to Craig on Twitter at DoForWin or me at Kyle Askin, and send Craig questions to DoForWin@gmail.com, and we will read them on air, maybe.
Probably.
How's our inbox?
We've got some always once never suggestions.
Well, that's good.
And that's mostly it, I think.
All right.
We've got a lot of people who are like, they pitch us like partnerships.
That doesn't sound like what I want.
Yes.
I mean, partnerships, if they want to give us some stuff, that's fine. But certainly we could have already cashed out for like 2. What was that? What was the Manscaper or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
They're like, we'll give you both a free Manscaper, and then we cut in after we sell 8 or something like that.
Well, they make beard trimmers now, and I could really use a beard trimmer.
Incredible.
But I don't know that I want the Manscaper beard trimmer. You know, it's never been used for the other purpose. Even if it's never been used for that, I'm still like, this is a Manscaper, though.
Yeah. I mean, they have to test it in their factory to make sure it's good.
That's true. And they only have one way to test it.
Right.
I have to say, we have an email that I need to respond to that is from someone who is actually related to AC about
you should
coming
do
on
that.
the show. But yeah. I mean, I don't know if you can tell from the show, but we literally never have guests.
Yes.
So
we had a guest 6 months ago or something.
You had a guest 6 months
Sure.
It's just pure laziness on our part, just to clarify. So that's that. So
and Ludi throwing shade at me. I have edited 2 of these episodes of Due for a Win. The 2 that Craig wasn't on.
Do you want to make it 3 out of 226?
No, damn it. I sure don't.
It was worth a shot.
Anyway, thank you guys very much for listening, and we'll be back with more talk about our upcoming trip in 2 weeks.
At one point, like, it seems like something's going to happen to Fry, and Bender's like, dibs on your DVD player. And it's like, man, like, the idea that DVDs are going to be around 1,000 years from now is absolutely hilarious now that DVDs are completely gone.
We still have a DVD player.
Do you have a DVD? Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, no, we should get rid of it.
Do you buy audiobooks on it?
No, I should.
Do you buy video books on it, also known as movies?